Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at the Walthers Proto 67-foot Trinity 6351 4-bay covered hopper. I know that's a mouthful. And if you are a religious follower to my channel, you will know that we've looked at these before. But we're going to look at them again because Walthers just released them and I try to keep you guys in the know. And I picked up over a dozen of these bad boys. I picked up most of the run, but I'm just going to show you a few in the scheme. No run by or anything, just a few in the scheme. And let you see what they look like on this latest run, including the highly anticipated, highly desired Vera Sun Energy version. So let's take a look and I will shut my mouth. Since Vera Sun is such in high demand that they were crazy prices online at one point on the secondary market. You'd see a casual Facebook post with some guy that was just trying to sell one of these for $100 to $200. I wondered why, and then I realized how on demand they were, even though I'm sitting on every single car of every run that's produced. Matter of fact, that was the first run that was produced, but here is the flyer. And because we've reviewed this before, I'm just going to do a quick video here in the essence of time. 39 parts broken down onto this hopper car. I guess that means there's 39 parts that compose it. Plastic, blister, packaging, and out it goes. So there's the car in all its glory. We'll take a close look at this one. Then I'll show you 3 other schemes, just to show you some of the available schemes. Alright, quick 360 here. Vera Sun Energy. It's an energy company. You can see the FRA stripes that are spaced out. That was around 2006. The FRA said, you know what, you guys are going to have to start putting stripes on the side of your cars. And the reason they said that was because people were running in the side. So they're in theory reflective, even though these aren't reflective. You can actually buy some on the secondary market that are reflective. As we zoom in, you can see the load and weight limits there, and the trucks. You see the shakers, brackets, I believe they're called, on the side that helps shake the hopper free of its contents. TILX and the road number along the side as well. Now the panels are plastic. Yep, definitely plastic. I don't know if they're one-time metal or not, but this one is definitely plastic. Don't quote me on that. More small writing on the side, all pretty legible, but you guys can blow it up to 1080p to see for yourself. A little air cylinder, air reservoir there with some plumbing. Helps facilitate the movement of the product. Brake wheel, some of that's brake line rigging too down below, which I'll show you. But there's a brake wheel, crew access ladders, separately applied grabs up top. Hatches, they do not open, but there are 5 hatches up top here. And more stuff that you probably know more about than I do, but I did want to give you a really close look at these 6351 hoppers. And there's a 360 of this one. Now I'm going to Vanna White a few others. Before I get ahead of myself, there's a look at the bottom of the bays and the doors that facilitate letting the product out. The hatches on top facilitate letting the product in. Okay, now usually I point out stuff that's pretty obvious to you, so this time I'll just talk about the hopper a little more as I do a 360 for you. So we're talking about product. Well, what is the product? Well, let me give you some background first. Early in the 21st century, the dramatic increase in ethanol production basically led to an increase in supplies of what's called DDG. Now that's dried distiller grains. It's an important byproduct that's basically sold for use in animal feeds. But because of its light density, of the DDG, you basically couldn't use standard hoppers. They weren't big enough to basically carry a maximum payload per trip. So in 2001, the Trinity 6351 hopper was brought to the rails, basically. It was introduced especially for that DDG service, and it was larger and lighter to carry a maximum payload. Now, I say lighter. The actual model is pretty heavy, but it's probably an NMRA compliance thing, and we'll get into that. But it was larger and lighter to carry a maximum payload. A higher side sill was also provided, which allowed easier access to the discharge gates, which I showed you on the bottom, and the shaker panels, or vibrator gates, or vibrator brackets, I should say, that are on the side of each bay that we talked about there. So now these cars are still serving a variety of owners. As a matter of fact, I just saw the Inco Brasa Industries one in Indiana. Now this is CHS, but this is the one I'm talking about. I just saw in Muncie, Indiana, maybe a year ago. So these are usually not ran in unit trains or anything. These are mixed in with a lot of different freight. You may have seen on my videos where I just put every 4-bay hopper I had into a unit train, but basically they're mixed into mixed freight quite often, so that's how I would suggest using them if you're trying to be realistic. Again, 39 different parts listed on this. Plastic metal walkways up top and plastic hatches to load the DDG and the bays and shaker to get it out. And that is a little backstory on the 6351 hopper. A little better than I've done in previous years of reviews. Let's go on to a little bit of testing, shall we? Okay, you guys have heard me say it before. Basically, the NMRA standard for weight is 1 ounce. It's an initial ounce plus 1/2 ounce for each 1/2 inch of car body length. And this car body is 9 inches long. So what does that mean? That means 4.5 ounces for the 9 inches plus the initial ounce. That should mean that if it's being NMRA compliant, it's going to weigh about 5.5 ounces. And I promise you, I have not looked at this. Going over the weight is usually fine. Going under the weight significantly is usually a problem for tracking and going through turnouts. So we're looking for 5.5 ounces on this. Let's see what we have. And I am noticing a couple different weights, so we'll try a couple. It's 234 grams or 8.3 ounces, so significantly over, and that's fine. It may drag down the weight of your consist a little bit if you're trying to run a really long train, but it is about 2.8 ounces over. This one seems heavier than that one even, but it's not. It's 2.7 ounces over at 8.2 ounces. So you're looking at, should be 5.5, and it's about 8.2 on most of these. So over the weight, that means it's going to track fine. It may weigh down your train a little bit. That's all the significant overweight means. Okay, since we have a little extra time, I'll just check the NMRA height on one of these bad boys. Seems to be dead on. I know the wheel sets were good. So if you don't like overweight, it's not NMRA compliant, but if you don't mind it, the coupler height's dead on. It does run very, very smoothly, so I don't think it would really drag your train down much. And there's a little bit of body wobble that can be adjusted with tightening the trucks sometime to the car body. Well, that's going to do it for the look at the Walthers 6351 hoppers. There's 4 schemes. There's a couple other schemes I have that are just different road reporting marks, so nothing really exciting to show you. Same color of the car body. But those are the hoppers, and we will see you next time right here on the channel. Take care.